Hey everybody, I've got a real nice one. We just decided we were going to pull this one generator out. It's been sitting underneath my cabinets for a good long time. In fact, what I'm showing you here is 3 ingredients that I use to store fuel very long term. I am a prepper. I do have a lot of stored items that, are for that purpose, and I learned something years ago when they first started putting ethanol in from a chemical engineer who gave me the basic ingredients if you want to store the fuel for a very long time. That's been designed, the fuel has been designed to spoil. It's not like it was 40 years ago. It's been designed to spoil. So what you have, and that's for basically a martial law event. And you'll know when they start adding additives to make your fuel spoil in 6 weeks instead of 6 months, that they're about to do something to you. So that's how you pay attention, whether or not it's a paranoid delusion or what. But that is something that I learned while working in the oil industry in Texas, that there is things they do to your fuel. So what I've got here is I've got very high grade, basically your average barbecue grill liquid for starting a fire, your charcoal lighter, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's just very, very, very high grade kerosene, pure. And then you have your Sta-Bil, which I like to pronounce as Sta-Bil because it really pisses off and keeps the liberals away from my website or my YouTube page. And then you have HEET. And this HEET is generally made for the diesel trucks market. So it has a very stable molecular alcohol in it, ISO. Now, what I've got here is I have a generator that has a manufacturer date, if I can find the model number here, I believe. Up. There it is. The manufacturer date on this model is 1995. So this is a 1995 generator. It's an old Sears, old Craftsman, and it has the plastic tank. Although you can't do this in a metal tank, okay? Now, this generator, I don't know if you can read that, was stored 9/20 of 2011 with the fuel that's in it right now. It holds 4.4 gallons, and with the 4.4 gallons that's in it, I'll show you what it did. All right, we took 4 ounces of lighter fluid, 2.5 ounces of Sta-Bil, and we took 3 ounces of HEET, and we mixed them with the 4 gallons. Exactly 4 gallons to allow headroom, because even though it'll handle 4.4, we wanted headroom, so that's what we put in there is 4 gallons. Now, this gasoline has a very perfume-like smell. Now, doesn't quite smell like gasoline. It has a kind of a perfumish, I don't know what you'd want to call that smell, but you can see that there is, I don't know if you can see that little bit of gunk that's formed in the top of that cap. That's something to do with that kerosene. However, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of a weird diesel fuel color in there now. The gasoline kind of does that after a while. It doesn't turn red like spoiled gasoline. There's a reason for that. This creates a film literally on top of your gasoline that prevents the reaction to the air that this is trying to stop, and this prevents corrosion and all the fittings and everything else that you've got in there, and keeps everything in suspension. Works very well. So now we're looking at a gasoline generator that has been in storage with fuel in it since 9/20 of 2011. Now it is June 21st, so today is June 21st 2016, which means in about 3 months, this gasoline would be 5 years old. 5 years old. Now, the one good thing about using the old Briggs motors is you don't have to worry about too much issues as far as gumming up. Hondas, Kawasaki's, everything else, they're tragic. But this Briggs motor is very easy to deal with if it gums up. So that's the only reason that I use a Briggs. Otherwise, I'd actually prefer a Kawasaki motor on these. Now, this generator is old. It's missing some screws. It's kind of got about 300 plus hours on it. It doesn't have an hour meter. So I've turned the fuel on. And just like always, I always shut the fuel off and run it until it dies out of fuel. And that way you don't have any in your carburetor. So I've turned the fuel back on. I'm letting it sit there and drain down. And we're going to fire it up. Now, this is, I pull primed it about 8 times with the switch off. So give you that up forward. And I shouldn't need too much of the choke. Just crack it just barely like that, my experience on this generator. And we're going to fire it up with almost 5-year-old fuel in it. All right. Maybe not the first time. That was a try. It is trying. There it goes. All right, a little bit of smoke. She smoked a little bit. Not too bad. I am running Royal Purple oil in it. So it does run really well. And it seems like she's doing pretty good. It's got a little odor. In fact, the odor has a, I don't know, kind of a perfume smell to it a little bit even. Kind of a sweet smell, kind of a glycol smell like you'd have from your antifreeze. Now, this generator, I'll put her under load if I can find a cord for it. There's a fan right back over here. See that fan? Let's see. Not too bad. That's only about a 70-watt load. So let's plug this in. I left this out. Now this is some sensitive electronics. Okay, so it's a sensitive electronics, but I'm recovering an old battery. And you can see the cycles in the LED. So that's fine electronics, and it's running good on it because you can see the little fluctuations in the LED. I've been restoring batteries. All the rest of the batteries, I'm using the power pulses on them. And so far, with a load on it, I've put load test on these, and every one except that one is coming out real good. This one, I'm load testing it down hard, charging it back up, down hard, and it's eventually building its voltage up. This battery right here was so caked inside you couldn't even identify the plates, and now it's up to 12 volts and holding. And it's not taking a hit yet, but I'm working on that. I use these in my off-grid lighting arrangements, electric fence gate openers, things like that. So that's the percentage of battery charging. All right, so this gives you an idea of what you're looking at for when you want to have long-term fuel storage. And my solution works, and might as well take this off. I'll burn all the fuel out, and I'll use this combination again. I'll write down the instructions at the bottom of the video.
Ha 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 ha!